whole concept of I have an idea. We've got 3 examples. One, I'm going to tell you about an idea that we had some smart guys go off and implement, and it produced real substantial business change. One idea that we're currently working on that's in process, it's being used, but it really is a platform for the future. And the third one's going to be about an idea that we're working on that is actually going to set a platform for the future for us. So I'm calling this keeping pace, because I think each and every one of us feels some level of challenge in dealing with the new normal. And for those of you that are in financial services, the new normal is very much a topic that's at hand. Though I do think the new normal affects each and every one of us. All you have to do is look around home, and you'll see a new normal. Any of you that have preteens or teenagers, I think you know exactly what I mean. I have a 17-year-old stepdaughter, and keeping pace with the way that she thinks, the way that she operates, the way that she interacts with the world is truly amazing for me to watch, but also a little terrifying when I think about that being our workforce in the future. I talk about financial services specifically because they're not known as being the most aggressive, specifically the insurance industry. Allianz Life is a product innovator in fixed and variable annuities. Not the thing that you see at ATMs, not the things that you generally go off and search on a website and try to buy an annuity to fund your retirement. This whole segment of the marketplace in the financial services has generally been a technology follower at best. And that following is really a challenge as we look at this pace that the world is changing at. I think if I look back to Allianz's history, it's a relationship company, right? These are the people that sit around the kitchen table and talk about, your retirement, your insurance, your what are you going to leave to your kids, the legacy and the protection that you want. That's not something that you necessarily want to slide, now let's turn to your computer and let's have a conversation through an e-application. Technology has been at the core of the insurance processing, but not necessarily at the customer experience side. I think, though, that the market changes, if I go back to 2008 in the financial space, and I look at the challenges that the regulatory environment is bringing us, along with that consumerization that when you look around the home, things are very different there. It's kind of this, to steal a phrase from this morning, right, a perfect storm that's hitting our market. Although I don't think if we weren't forced to make some of these changes, specifically in the insurance space, we probably would. But there are definitely changes coming that are going to require us to change. And that's not normal for a company like Allianz Life, especially in the technology space. We talk about volatility in the financial markets. We talk about new regulatory demands. We talk about distribution channels, the way people look at products. If I go back, I don't know that a lot of people that had an Allianz policy prior to 2008 probably really looked at what that policy was. We go through a financial crisis. Everyone really cares who's backing those retirement products. And I think the other piece is that customers are becoming more savvy. They want to see their policy values. They want to start interacting on their schedule, not on their agent schedule or the insurance company's schedule. So I got 3 examples that I'm going to go into that kind of hit all of these areas in terms of ideas. So the first idea that we had was modeling and calculation engine. Now that sounds really exciting. However, that is really around actuaries and corporate risk management folks. And the reason I bring it up is because this is a great example of innovation that comes out of a couple smart guys that are very, very closely tied with the business that have the trust to say, we've got a different way to do it. So as a company that has reserving and regulatory requirements both here in the United States at each state level and at the European Union level, our calculations and modeling were a very power-intensive, both CPU power and people power-intensive activity. We were at a point where we were actually adding blades to our environment at a pace we couldn't really keep up with. They had an appetite that said, I want to run more and more models. I want to run more and more jobs. And in a conservative insurance company like Allianz at a global level, you can understand that that is very, very important to be conservative. So we got a couple smart guys that came up with an idea that said, we've got a different way of looking at how we can do this modeling. We can actually go and redesign, re-architect, and rebuild the way that we do these calculations, and we're going to save you a bunch of time and money and provide you with better results faster. Obviously, from a business standpoint, that's really, really important. So we took a chance and we let these smart guys go off and rebuild our modeling engine. Now, for a conservative company, that's the core of our reputation. It's the core of what we respond to regulators on. And it is a very conservative, I'll say it best, area. So we let them go off, build it, and we ran it in parallel for a number of months. The results have been staggering. We've cut down from days of processing time to hours. We've gone from terabytes of in-flight storage that was used during the process and running of the jobs down to megabytes. We're able to give our corporate risk management and actuarial folks results a lot sooner. And we're able to save, what most CFOs really care about is actually come down on our run costs from an IT standpoint. So this is a really good example of where we had a couple smart guys that had an idea. We trusted them. We took a very conservative route to make it run parallel and got the results from a business standpoint. The second example I'm going to talk about is enabling business-to-business communications. So as the marketplace has changed, and Allianz does all independent distribution, so we deal heavily with broker-dealers and registered reps. From about 2000 on, that whole marketplace changed. Some went away, some merged, some ultimately changed how they interact or how they say their standard playbook works. Those integrations back to a carrier like Allianz Life created a lot of consternation and a lot of expense and a lot of dollars. So we sat down, because we had this idea in business partnership, to actually go and build a standards-based interface, focusing primarily initially on the DTCC, but actually using a whole technology platform that allowed us to go business to business in a number of different areas. For our registrations of our agents at the state level, background checks, and ultimately saying we're able to move very fast now at an integration level, and it's not custom-based, but it is in that framework that we heard about this morning with the concerns of cybersecurity and all of those aspects, a repeatable model for us to go out and put in place. So we have it in place today. It's a rails for the future. We're working on continually adding new and increasing integrations to that platform. And that's another great example of an idea, but an idea that also came with ties back to a partnership. So HCL has been a tremendous partner with us in building these integrations and maintaining them so that we can fastly adjust to the marketplace, which has proven to be a business benefit and also a differentiator for our business in their conversations when they try to create new relationships and new deals. The third area I'm going to talk about is an opportunity and an idea we have for the future. The consumer base has changed to the point where we're seeing a change in product demands. So they're looking for componentized products, products that are multi-dimensional in terms of it's not just a traditional annuity, it might be something combined with a legacy and protection aspect. And so we're seeing a demand for new product types, along with the fact that as we add those product types, they want to see a different servicing level and a different way of engaging with us. And so we're seeing that consumerization impact starting to show up on the insurance side at the end consumer level, but also at the field and distribution level. So we've embarked on a multi-year, very expensive, for those of you in the insurance company understand, a very expensive policy administration solution implementation, which is essentially a platform uplift. And the reason we view this as extremely important as a differentiator, in 2008, we had to pull our variable annuities off the market for a period of time while we adjusted to the demands of the regulations and changes in the financial space. That recovery and the amount of time it took, while heroic and put us back in the market, again with the help of our HCL partners, showed us that we had a weakness. That legacy systems aren't just a stability risk for the company, they're an agility risk. As we look towards building new complex products and new servicing opportunities, we needed a different way of putting our back office in order. So we're down to the point where this project is underway. We've got multiple partners involved. platform is set, and we're building these rails so that we can meet, compete, and be in a different place in the financial services space going forward. So I think when we talk about keeping pace, the most important part for us in keeping pace is to do it soundly, to do it conservatively, but also be reactive and agile so that we're able to continue to have the market penetration we have both in fixed annuities and variable annuities. So with that, I will wrap up and just saying that this is the ways we take those examples, those ideas, both from we have them, we can implement them, we have them and we're building on them, and we have them and we're investing in the future on those. Thank you very much.